Welcome to this video on the rise of Bitcoin, the world's first and most well-known cryptocurrency. In just over a decade, Bitcoin has gone from a niche concept among a small group of tech enthusiasts to a global phenomenon that has captured the attention of investors, businesses, and governments around the world. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay current on all future videos. The birth of Bitcoin and its early development. Bitcoin, the world's first decentralized digital currency, has revolutionized the way we think about money. It was created in 2009 by an anonymous person or group of people under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. Since its inception, Bitcoin has been a major disruptor of traditional finance and investment systems. The idea of Bitcoin was first proposed in 2008 when Nakamoto published his white paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. This paper outlined the concept of a decentralized digital currency that would be powered by blockchain technology and could be used as an alternative to traditional payment systems. Since then, Bitcoin has grown exponentially in popularity and value, with millions of users around the world using it as an alternative form of payment. The purpose of Bitcoin was to create a secure, global payment system that did not rely on any central authority or government control. By using cryptography and distributed ledger technology, Bitcoin allows users to securely transfer funds without the need for intermediaries such as banks or other financial institutions. Since its launch in 2009, Bitcoin has been growing in popularity and acceptance among businesses and consumers alike. Its early development saw it become increasingly adopted by merchants both online and offline, as well as being used for international money transfers with low fees. Today, it is seen as a legitimate form of payment by many countries around the world and continues to be developed, with new features being added regularly. The first Bitcoin transaction. The first Bitcoin transaction is an important moment in the history of Bitcoin and the broader cryptocurrency industry. The transaction took place on January 12, 2009, just a few days after the first Bitcoin block was mined. The transaction was made by the pseudonymous Bitcoin creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, who sent 10 Bitcoins to Hal Finney, a software developer and one of the earliest adopters of Bitcoin. The transaction was conducted over the Bitcoin network, which was still in its early stages at the time, and it was recorded in the first block of the Bitcoin blockchain, known as the Genesis block. Initially, the Bitcoin network was supported by a small group of enthusiasts who ran the software on their personal computers. These early adopters were primarily interested in Bitcoin as an experiment in decentralized currency and saw its potential as an alternative to traditional government-issued currencies. The transaction was significant because it demonstrated that Bitcoin could be used as a means of transferring value between two parties without the need for a third-party intermediary, such as a bank or payment processor. It also helped to establish the value of Bitcoin, as the 10 Bitcoins that were sent from Nakamoto to Finney were worth very little at the time but would be worth millions of dollars today. Since then, Bitcoin has become one of the most popular and widely used cryptocurrencies in the world, and it has inspired the development of many other cryptocurrencies and blockchain-based projects. The first Bitcoin transaction remains an important moment in the history of this technology and is often cited as an example of the power and potential of decentralized, peer-to-peer systems. The infamous Domino's Pizza transaction. The infamous Domino's Pizza transaction is considered to be the first real-world transaction involving Bitcoin. It occurred in May 2010, when a programmer and early Bitcoin enthusiast named Laszlo Hanyecz made a public post on the Bitcoin Talk forum offering to pay 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 large pizzas from Domino's Pizza. At the time, the price of Bitcoin was still very low, and 10,000 Bitcoins were worth only about $41. Hanyecz's offer was quickly accepted by another forum member, who ordered the pizzas and had them delivered to Hanyuch's house in Florida. The transaction gained notoriety in the Bitcoin community, and it has since been used as an example of how early Bitcoin adopters were willing to trade their Bitcoins for real-world goods and services. It's also been cited as an early example of the potential of cryptocurrencies to be used as a medium of exchange, even for everyday purchases like pizza. However, the transaction has also been criticized for the massive opportunity cost that Hanyuch incurred by trading 10,000 bitcoins for just 2 pizzas. As of this writing, those 10,000 bitcoins would be worth more than $249 million at current market prices, making it one of the most expensive pizzas in history. Bitcoin milestones. Following the first real-world Bitcoin transaction in 2010, the price of Bitcoin remained under a penny for most of the year. In 2011, Bitcoin's price hit $1 for the first time in February. The price reached $30 in June, before it fell back down to around $2 in November. In 2012, Bitcoin's price remained relatively stable, hovering around $10 for most of the year. In 2013, Bitcoin's price began to climb rapidly, reaching $260 in April and then falling to around $70 by July. However, it quickly rebounded, reaching a new all-time high of $1,242 in November before falling back to around $800 by the end of the year. In 2014, Bitcoin's price continued to decline, falling below $400 by the end of the year. The coin began to stabilize in 2015, as it hovered around $200 to $300 for most of the year. By 2016, the price of Bitcoin began to rise again. It reached $1,000 in January of 2017. While experiencing a massive surge, Bitcoin reached nearly $20,000 in December. Bitcoin experienced a significant correction in 2018. The price fell around $3,000 by the end of the year. The price stabilized in 2019 and 2020 as it hovered around $7,000 to $9,000. Between 2020 and early 2021, Bitcoin began to rise again as it reached a new all-time high of $64,000 in April 2021. However, the price fell to around $45,000 by the end of the year. In 2022, Bitcoin continued to fall. The price continued to see significant volatility. The price in January of 2022 was around $47,000. By December of 2022, the price dropped down to around $17,000. To date, the price of Bitcoin is hovering around $22,000. In conclusion, the rise of Bitcoin has been nothing short of remarkable. From its humble beginnings as an obscure digital currency, it has now become a household name and a legitimate asset class. Its decentralized nature, built on blockchain technology, has made it a disruptive force in the financial world, challenging traditional ways of storing and transferring value. While there are still questions about its long-term viability and potential regulatory hurdles, there is no denying that Bitcoin has captured the attention and imagination of investors and enthusiasts around the world. Whether it continues to soar in value or experiences a market correction, the story of Bitcoin's rise is one that will continue to be studied and debated for years to come. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for future videos.